maintain his reputation. You know why I put it there? Because sometimes I fall into that trap. I need to study my Bible because I'm speaking at PYC. Oh, I'm doing Sabbath school, that's why I need to study. But friends, motivation is not supposed to be rekindled by our own fire. It's supposed to be rekindled by the fire of God's love. Look at what it says. Sometimes our effort just to keep up our reputation. I assure you that many of us here in this room are going to church because we are afraid of what people are going to tell us if we don't go to church. And sometimes we do certain things, we don't drink this, we don't eat that, we don't do this because we are careful of what other people tell us or what other people say to us. That's why we're doing good things to maintain a reputation. I assure you, friends, if people can do whatever they want without taking care of what other people tell them, they will not go to church. Sometimes many people are going to church because they're afraid of what other people tell them. Where were you that Sabbath? Why are you not here? Sometimes we do things just to maintain our reputation. But it should not be kindled by our own fire. It should be kindled by God's love. She goes on to say, it's not working. She goes on to say here, he who lives in fear and others do not appreciate his values, losing sight of him who alone makes worthy of glorifying God. Let us be faithful stewards over ourselves. Let us look away from self to Christ, and there will be no trouble at all. She goes on to say, all the work done, however excellent it may be, is worthless if done in the love of anything that you do. If it's not rekindled by the love of Jesus, is worthless. She goes on to say here, my dear friends, one may go through the whole round of religious activity. You may attend all the seminars in PYC. She goes on to say, and yet unless Christ is woven into all that he says he does, he will work for his own glory. That's what she said. And then he goes on. Okay, it stops working. Anyways, friends, this is why God said, when you offer a sacrifice, it must only be kindled by the love of Jesus Christ, by the fire of Jesus. Friends, let me ask you a question. When you went to PYC, is it motivated by the love of Jesus? Are you attending here because you love Jesus? Or are you attending here because you paid for something? Or is it because God sent you here? Or is it because the church has sent you here? It's all motivated by the love of Jesus. And by the way, my dear friends, this is the reason why it's very hard for us to follow Jesus. I grew up in the church, and I tell you the truth, it's a burden for me to follow Jesus. It's a burden. Going to church, 8:30 in the morning, I go there in the church, it feels like a trouble. I'm so burdened. It's so heavy to wake up. Instead of it's Saturday, it's very hard to do this. God tells you to do this, it's very hard to follow. I know you can relate. It's very hard. Sometimes I go to church and all I do is look at the window. Is it sunset already? Because I'm going to watch my TV. That's what I do. Is it sunset? Because I'm going to the mall and buy something. We are more excited, my dear friends, to end the sunset than to actually be in the Sabbath with Jesus Christ. Many of us are like that. It's so hard to say, friends, but this is the reality. You know why? Because we're trying Christianity with our own effort. That's why Christianity becomes a burden, not a blessing. Ellen White said, if you love someone, duty becomes a delight and sacrifice a pleasure. I remember John Fox's, he would write the testimonies of the people that were killed before. I would challenge you, go to your libraries in your school, find the book, Fox's Book of Martyrs. You will see people being persecuted, being killed, being chopped to death, being tortured, fed into the lions because of their faith. But you will never see them complain. Why? That is love, friends. They died for Jesus, and they're motivated by the love of Jesus. I remember there was a story by John Fox. and he would go there and he saw these people being tortured. And the story was told that while they were burned in the stake, they would sing. And their face are so serene and so calm. John Fox says, as if these people were tortured and their faces is so calm as if they're going to a marriage feast. Can you imagine that? You're being tortured, but your face is as if you're going to a marriage. Why? Motivated by the love of God. Friends, this is the reason why it's hard for us to follow Jesus. I've met so many people, when they come to my seminar, they always say, oh, Brother Jasper, the standard is too high. Not eating this, not eating that, no listening to this. That means when I go out of this room, I need to give up the CDs from the world? You mean to tell me that I need to give up Lady Gaga, Justin Bieber, my One Direction music, or whatever it is? You mean to tell me just because I need to concentrate my mind upon Jesus Christ that I needed to give up all these worldly things? I can't eat meat. I can't eat chicken. I just need to be a vegetarian. I need to exercise. The standard is too high. Have you ever felt that in your heart today? Standard is too high. I can't play computer games. I can't watch things on YouTube that is bad. Standard is too high. Friends, the standard is never high. Your love is too low. The Bible said, if you love me, you keep my commandments. It's an issue of love, friends. So when Christianity becomes a burden to you, you need to ask yourself why. You don't love Jesus Christ. Christianity, my friends, is not about, can I do this? Can I do that? Do I need to do this, Lord? Do I need to do that? You always ask the Lord like that. But if you love a person, and if you have a girlfriend, and if you love your girlfriend, you don't say, do I really need to marry that person? You don't say that, right? What do you say? I want to marry her. When you follow Jesus, you don't ask Jesus, do I need to do this, Lord? You say, Lord, it's my pleasure it's my pleasure. It's a pleasure for me to do it. Again, I want to ask you, is Christianity a burden to you, or is it a blessing? I hope it's a blessing, friends. When you go out, I'll make a special appeal later, and I hope it's not a burden to you. But let us finish this now. See, I have so many things here. I just need to give it to you, and I hope you read it, okay? Please share it. Please read it. How many minutes do I have? Oh, it's already time. Listen to what Ellen White said here. Listen to what Ellen White said. She said, cleanse the fountain and the streams will be pure. If the heart is right, your words, your dress, your acts will all be right. We're trying to change your dress all the time, right? Trying to change your diet all the time. What Ellen White said is that you need to change your heart. You need to change your heart and put the love of God in it, so that when your heart is right, your dress, your diet, everything will be all right. That means, friends, that anyone who doesn't have the right dress, the right diet, the right words, doesn't have the right heart. Because the right heart will produce the right dress, the right diet, the right music, the right things. That's what she said, my dear friends. I wish I have time. Okay, this is the quote that I talked about, education, page 269. Please listen down. She said, once the gaze is fixed upon him, the life finds its center. The enthusiasm, the generous devotion, the passionate ardor, the youth find here the true object. Duty becomes a delight, and sacrifice a pleasure. That's what she said. When you find Jesus, duty becomes a delight, sacrifice a pleasure. I hope you have an experience like that, friends, in your life. When you see sin, it's a delight for you not to do it, not a burden. Sometimes when we see sin, it's always a burden. Should I do this? It takes a lot of minutes to actually exercise self-denial. Why? Because we're attracted to it, and we don't have much love to Jesus Christ. I need to go back to the other side. to close. It never fits. It never fits. Lastly, is the final part for the finishing of the work. Now the fourth part, I have another hour for it, but I don't have any time. I'll just give you my material. Do no work. That just implied that during the Day of Atonement, while they were waiting, they have Holy Convocation, they have afflict their souls, then they offer sacrifice to God. That means everything is based on love and devotion. And number 4, my dear friends, do no work. Why are they not working? Number 1 is the Sabbath day during the Day of Atonement. Number 2, so that they may focus their minds on the most holy place of the heavenly sanctuary. That's why they're not working. And since 1844, and we're living in the Day of Atonement, God calls us to do no work that would take our eyes away from Jesus Christ. That's why we are not doing any work. It may be your course that takes you away from Jesus Christ. It may be your relationships around you, or maybe the things that you do, social media, whatever it is. You must take away any work that destroys your relationship with Jesus. That's another study here, but I want to move forward on this. So why are the people required to follow these instructions? How many instructions were that? 4. Why are they required? The answer is here. Because the blotting of sin is in progress. The blotting of sin is in progress. Let me illustrate this, okay? There's a boy by the name of little Johnny. What is his name? Johnny is a very naughty boy. His mom is cleaning his house. Cleaning his house, her house, cleaning her house, and she's already finished. So she's just gonna finish kitchen. Cleaning the kitchen now, mopping the floor. Johnny is playing mud outside the house. Johnny, while he was in the rain, went into the house with mud in his feet. Stepped into the kitchen. What happens in the kitchen? Get dirty, right? So what would mom do? Clean the floor, right? She would clean the floor and clean the floor. Johnny went out, went back again. What happened? Dirty again. What should mother do? Clean again. No, actually, should clean Johnny. Why? It's going to be a cycle. You know why Jesus hasn't come back yet? You know why? Because we have little Johnny, Seventh-day Adventist, sending mud back to the most holy place. That's why Jesus hasn't come back yet. Because sin becomes a cycle. Jesus is about to come, almost done in the kitchen, mopping the floor, the most holy place. Here goes a set of Seventh-day Adventists sending mud back to the most holy place. That's why God is delaying the work. That's why people needs to have these 4 work, so that they may focus their mind and have victory over sin, so that if they're, by the way, read Leviticus 16 when you go home. If there's no clean sanctuary, there will be no clean people. Let me repeat that again. There will be no clean sanctuary if there is no clean people. The only way you can have a clean sanctuary is when you have a clean people. Why? Because if there's no clean people, sin will just go back and forth. So when God cleanses the people, what happens next? Sanctuary is now cleansed. How many minutes do we have? Done. Time's up. I can't finish it. But anyways, friends, I'll just make a special appeal, and I'll finish this. In the book of Revelation, the Bible tells us in Revelation chapter 6, that when Jesus comes back, people, they're going to run in the mountains. Why are they going to run in the mountains? The Bible said, they run in the mountains and say, rock, fall on us. They would hide in the mountains. You know why they would hide in the mountains? When is the first time we saw people hiding from the Bible? First time. Why are the people hiding? Why did Adam and Eve hide from Jesus? Same thing. You know why people are hiding from God when Jesus comes back? Sin. Are you following? These people have not had the Day of Atonement experience. Their sin stayed in their lives. There are two people when Jesus comes back. One that would run to the mountains and said, fall on us. Second person would run to Jesus and said, Lord, this is our God. We have waited for Him and He will save us. Those people who said, Lord, thank you, you have come and you will save us, had the Day of Atonement experience. And those people running to the mountains, my dear friends, had cherished sin in their life. That's why God said, it's a Day of Atonement. Have a holy convocation. Afflict your souls. What's the third one? Offer a sacrifice made by fire. And do no work. Focus your mind so that when I come back, you